Okay, today is Gimel Tmuz, the Yortzeit of the Rebbe. So I'm going to learn one halacha that was one of the takonos of the Rebbe. Was the 10 takonos he did. One of them was everybody should light candles, and he was mechadash. I mean, he was encouraging those who just don't light the candles should light candles. Plus, what he was mechadash by the frum people, the little girls should also start lighting candles together with their mother. And obviously, a lot of times when he did something, whether it was with the Miftzah Tefillin, Miftzah Neres Shabbos Kodesh, so there was always some people that volunteer to go against him. So I just want to talk about this halacha, purely halachically, nothing political, nothing but halacha. So it's like this: the Mechaber brings in Siman Rasag in Halacha Ches. He brings over there. I'm reading from the Aruch HaShulchan because he summarized the whole thing. He says, Shnayim or Gimel Balabatim Ochel Mokem Echad. If there's 2 or 3 people, families eating in one Shabbos table, we already had some of this in Yanim, we already learned. But he says, Yesh Omrim, he brings a Yesh Kol Echad Mevarach Al Menorah Shaloi. Some saying that they're allowed to light together, each family, its own menorah on the same Shabbos table. He says, V'yesh Magamgem Bedover. However, some people question this minhag. He says that so the Mechaber Ripaskin Menochen Lizor Besofek Brochas V'lo Yivorach Ala Echad. Ad kan l'shen. That's the lashon of the Mechaber. Now, because of Rabbeinu Aramah, well, onu eno hagin ken. Ad kan l'shen. So according to the Mechaber, if many families get together Friday night, according to the Mechaber, one, the Balaboster, she's going to say the bracha, and everybody else will be yoytza with her, even they could light their own candles, but the bracha, one person is going to say. And according to the Ramah, everybody could do it. Everybody could do their own bracha. Within that, there was a machlekes between the Shlo and the Prima Godim, whether on the same menorah or 2 different menorahs. So the Shlo said everybody should have his own menorah. The Prima Godim said even one menorah. If the Ani they don't have another menorah, they could do it in one menorah. So the Alter Rebbe and the Aruch HaShulchan, they more following the Shlo. Everybody should have at least their own menorah. And the Mishnah Berurah says, b'shasat chag, when somebody doesn't have, they could rely on the Prima Godim. Even the older Balabatim could light on one menorah is also okay. Now he, right. According to Ramah and according to the way the Prima Godim brings, everyone could do his own bracha. Now he explained this, and that's going to also explain that the controversy was by many people that disagreed with the Rebbe, and he said to light the girl should light also because they felt, what do you need another? It's like bracha levatola. There is already somebody saying bracha on this table. So this is the makor for this halacha. By the way, I just want to say, I mentioned this Shabbos over here. There was they say by the Baba Sali. He, before many wars in Eretz Yisrael, he predicted them before. He warned, before there's going to become, he predicted the Yom Kippur War, the 6-day war. He also predicted the war in 1976, if I'm not mistaken. And there was no war. So they told him, you were a good predictor, but this 1976 was no war. He said it's going to be a war. He told him, yes, it was supposed to be a war. And but he says, by the Lubavitch Rebbe, when he came out, he with his campaign about lighting the Shabbos candles, he says, with his Pe'ula, he says he nullified this war. That's what the Rabbi Sali said. Now, another story, that story in Mipi Ashmu, I didn't read it and I heard it. But one story that I saw myself in a major newspaper in the late 70s, they wrote, there was all those people now in Olam HaEmes, the Baba Sali, the Rebbe, and there's another big Rav, which is, I don't want to say a name, and he was coming sharp against the Rebbe on this sugya of Neiros, that the little girl should light Neiros also. So, like I said, I'm going to go Halacha in a minute to show where every carry come from. But the Baba Sali said like this. That was printed in a major newspaper in Eretz Yisrael. He said like this: how could Zvuv bli knafayim? How could a fly without wings nilcham im nesher b'shamayim? How could he go on a war with the eagle in heaven? So we're talking about a big Rav. I mean, I don't want to say name. You'll know it's a famous Rav. He called them Zvuv bli knafayim. He called them a fly without wings. How could you go fight an eagle in heaven? He called the Rebbe eagle in heaven. So meaning, there's no need. Even we disagree with each other sometimes. It's okay. We always have machlokes. The Gemara, every page you have machlokes. It's have to be done b'derech eret. So anyway, here's what the Aruch HaShulchan says. Biur advarim nirali the imbol adig b'vas echad. He mechadesh another thing also, which is I'm surprised no one else picked on it. The Aruch HaShulchan mechadesh if all this machlokes, the Mechaber and the Ramah, if you could light on one table many candles and say bracha or not, definitely you could light as many candles you want, the Shaila and the bracha. According to Mechaber, you don't say bracha. According to Ramah, everybody's saying a bracha. He says the whole machlokes, he says, if they're not lighting at the same time, but in bowl ladig bavas achas, if they're all lighting at the same time, hakol moidim, meaning even the Mechaber would be okay with that. Shekulam yecholim ladig v'levarach. Come on, kol hamitzvahs amutar al kol echad miYisrael. Come on, ner Chanukah. I have a chiyuv and madik. One balabas is going to say you have a chiyuv, so we're all lighting to. Then everybody has said the bracha. He says, "Omna she'echad birech mikoydem lachagav bo'achad lahadlik." We're talking about the whole machlokes in the Mechaber and the Ramah, and already the balabas somebody else made already a bracha on this table. Then comes someone else to say a bracha. So that's a machlokes. That's the day of the mechaber. Dulash was a brocha levatola. The bekan lechol achil ala sheni, because the second party who's lighting the menorah, there's no more chiyuv. The kvan dikar mitzvah b'shvil ha'oir. The main thing was should be a light in the Shabbos table. Ubekan kvar yesh oir. Whoever did the light. So what do you make another brocha? V'nishim u'tos olav ha'mitzvah. Even though everybody has his own mitzvah to light, but right now that mitzvah doesn't apply to him because there's already light over here. He cannot do the mitzvah. Now, but there is shoyna. So whereas the mikra shigamu mekam mitzvah zu, the vishabiribu hanaris is rabba oir. That's the Ramo follows. No, even somebody comes later to light the candle. Obviously, before Zman of Shabbos we're talking about, and the first one did his lighting. Comes the second one later. He wants to light. He could do it too. Why? Even though there is already light in the room, because the more light we have, it's adding to the Shalom Bayis, it's adding to the Simcha Oinag of Shabbos, and that's what the Aruch HaShulchan concludes. V'onu toivsim kedei azu. Abes Yosef choshash l'deya hashniya. Okay, now that's the punchline over here. Lagabe, this minhag that the Rebbe was mechadesh in a way. The girls should also light the candles and even say brocha. Again, they could say that with Yotze, with the mother's brocha, says, why are you saying another bracha? So what he says, the Lashon of Aruch HaShulchan, Ubenois Yisrael, the Jewish girls, Noihagos Levorach Kol Achas Ba'atzmo, every girl does its own bracha. Av Chenetel Iman, even though they're by the mother, they do their own lighting and bracha. Av Sha'abal and Novorach V'zem Al Birchas Ishta. The husband doesn't do his own bracha on the candles. He's somech on the wife. So why the little girls not somech on the mother? He says, since the mitzvah of Neirat Shabbos that's more belongs to a woman, everybody could light his own candle and say his own bracha. Okay, however, he's one thing that he brings that's not the way the Rebbe instituted it. But it's better she should do its own lighting in its own room. He says only toy, meaning lemaisa, if they light in the same room, they could still do the bracha as long as they have their own menorah. That's the shita of the shlah. Like I said, that's what the shita of Magen Avraham, the Alter Rebbe follow, the Aruch HaShulchan follow. According to Mishnah Berurah, like I said, they follow the Pri Megadim, that even by menorah achas they could do the brach. Okay, so this is really, so you could say like this. So l'choira, you could say l'choira mashma, this only for Ashkenazim would be, because according to the Mechaber, he choishes to the shita that you cannot light two balabastas on one table. So they could light, there's no bracha. And that's also how the Rabbeinu Avraham has to lie on the levush. He says, so according to the Sfardim, not only a little girl cannot light, even an adult, if it's only one per household, could light with the bracha. Not even a married woman should not light. However, it's not possible at all. Another rabbi, this whole halacha flips, because the Kappa Chaim, which is very big on the Indian of Sofek Brochas Lahokel, he sometimes says he goes by Sofek Brochas Lahokel, he goes even against the Mechaber many times. He says, however, he says over here like this. He says, Hadover Mavur, the Kavanas Ramo Loimar En Agim Kemor and Zalel Minogim Levach Kol Achas Kedas Maharil. He says, V'chen Posak Ha'oilas Shabbos, V'chen Yeram Medivra El Yerab, Bir Kayosef B'Shiur Brocha, V'chen Yesh Nagin B'Sfarad. So the Kappa Chaim add, even in the Sfaradim, they had this minhag, Levarach Kol Echad Al Menoira Shaloi, like the Shlo, at least should be your own Menoira. V'aval Pisha Oichlin B'Mokem Echad, different Balabatim eating in one place. V'chen Kosav V'Yof Lev Ois Yud, V'Kvar Kosavnu, that's the punchline over here, the Kappa Chaim brings. B'Kam B'Komet, the Mokem minhag, V'Amrin and Sofek Brochas Lahokel. Even though he's very big on that, it's very consistent. The Kappa Chaim very much carry with Sofek Brochas. Like I said, he could go against the Mechaber by Sofek Brochas Lahokel, not to make the Brocha. However, since there's a minhag, he says over here, that even the Sfaradim used to light the candles, every person, every balabas, so if there is a minhag, you don't say Sofek Brochas Lahokel. So in this case, according to the Kappa Chaim, even Sfaradim follow the Ramah, that everybody could do his own bracha. So you see from here, you have the Aruch HaShulchan says that was the minhag. They used to light their own candles, and even the Kappa Chaim, there's no shiloh. So that used to be the minhag. Oh, so you could argue l'choira. They're telling you, or those who just don't light, within such a minhag. So the Rebbe answers it. He says, he says there was such a minhag, an old minhag, that everybody used to light by himself. However, throughout the Golus, when it became already maybe expensive for everybody to light his own candles, there was anius. So in some places it got weaker. He says, but Lamaisa, the original minhag was like this, and he says by the house of the Alter Rebbe, all the granddaughters used to light. He says by the Brisker Rav, they used to light, and he says, and few the grandchildren of the Sfas Emes, they used to have this minhag to light by their parents. So he says the old minhag, Elamai, like I said, by some people it was a little bit this minhag got faded because of the golus, maybe because it's costing a lot of money. Now then he brings a very strong raya from the Torah itself that the girl should light. It says by when Yitzchak, Rivka came to him, it says Vayikach es Rivka. It says over there, the Rashi brings Rashi brings he saw a few things over there. One thing he saw by Rivka, ner doilak mishabas l'shabas, like by his mother Sarah. Then he decided to marry her. So interesting, there's a machlokes. When did he see this? After he married her or before? So many saying, according to the Medrash, the Levush learns like this, that all the three simanim he saw by Rivka was before he got married to her. He saw when she lighted a candle of Shabbos, it's lit till the next Shabbos. Then he decided to marry her. That's the right shidduch. So according to this, Rivka Imenu even did also, but she was 3 years old, and she lit Shabbos candle. And obviously in the house of Avraham Avinu, then Sarah wasn't around, Avraham Avinu lit the candle himself, he's the balabos. So you see from here, he said, the children also said, light the candle. Anyway, the one I just want to bring one. There's a lot that's written on this Indian, and that's what the Rebbe brings. Some people still tying an our home. They didn't do that. He says like this. It says in the olden days, it says many girls did not put makeups. It says many girls did not read newspapers, and many girls did not do many things that they do today. He says you don't say this. That's old minhag. You keep up with the Jones. So he says why not to keep up with the pushing the darkness with the light? What's the big avera? Doing a lot. So Memele, it was recommended very much to everybody should be makpid and in and there is Shabbos Kodesh. The Rosh Hashanah is neshek. That's one of our weapons. That's what the Basali said. That's what stopped the war was supposed to be there. And the minhag though that Lamai said that the women light at least 2 candles. Girls before Chasna they light only 1 candle. It's better they should say the bracha first. This way the mother could help them to do the right way. If there is a mistake, they could help them, and then the mother should say the bracha.